In fact, we are discovering the basis of a theory through the experiments we are doing in the grassroots communities in Brazil. In a sense, inverting, theory coming from practice, a way of practicing something, enabling us to get to a theoretical compound that we can use for ourselves and that we can share with whoever. This experience began to take place about 4 years ago, supported by the efforts of many people inside the ministry and the government as a whole, but also and mainly with and within civil society. And it is these components from civil society and activists from Brazil and all over the world that we use to create the cultural hotspots. This approach basically consists of an experiment which empowers underprivileged grassroots populations of Brazil by providing them with free digital multimedia technologies. Cultural hotspots are small NGOs acting all over Brazil and producing all kinds of cultural activities. They are identified and chosen for their activism, their cultural protagonism, and their autonomy. The concept is very simple. It's a very simple concept. We give them financial support, not much, about $3,000 a month, and digital free multimedia technology, hardware, open source software, and workshops on how to use digital technologies. We don't tell them what to do with the money that we give them. They know what they're going to do with the money. The experience with digital technologies in the Pontos de Cultura, the hotspots, made possible a symbolic exercise, a dialogue between sociocultural grassroots communities with digital new concepts and contemporary languages. This very rich process began when the communities, the new cultural producers, start networking, and by doing so, engage in a process of autonomy, free from government or any other control. The transformation starts when the kids in the communities recognize the digital technological devices as cultural performance tools, as a source of diversified references, as a platform for aesthetic creation and re-symbolization of their experiences. In other words, social change starts when they understand cyberspace as a territory of their own, when they understand uploading before they ever heard of downloading, when they start publishing. This is the exact moment when empowerment takes place. We could say sheer magic. Today, in Brazil, we have traditional communities such as indigenous tribes, quilombolas, remaining communities from slavery times. We call them quilombolas, quilombos, where the places where they organized themselves, they reunited themselves to face the power of the enslavers. So now we are doing this hotspots, cultural hotspots program with the indigenous tribes, with the quilombolas, with the ribeirinhos. Ribeirinhos, people, especially in the Amazon area, living by the rivers. We call them ribeirinhos, the ones living by the flows, the big flows of water. We have so many in the Amazon area. Now, those communities, they are able to record their own songs on CDs, videotape their work and culture, you know, with the digital cameras and things. This burst of fresh air is unchaining new vital ideas, new innovative productions, generating a real empowerment process of an emerging creative society. This process is encouraging and inducing the formation of a network of new cultural multimedia producers in Brazil, a network which will soon be consolidated in a new generation of authors and artists. We have discovered that it's quite easy for our grassroots communities, those still living in a 19th century reality, it's quite easy for them to understand and engage in the paradigm of the 21st century. The work I have witnessed with the idea and practice of digital culture in the ministry shows us that it's possible to have another form of consonance, something radical. I would even say a symbiosis of the state with the civil society. Many corporations and governments all over the world have positioned themselves conservatively and trying to block the advance of these digital new possibilities. Every technical revolution creates a reaction like that. Digital distribution of intellectual property, if seen from the analogical perspective, represents a threat to business, a security problem, and a loss of social control. These perceptions of barriers to technology are, in my consideration, they are but a momentary setback which shall soon be resolved. I think that technology itself and political movimentation, the politicizing of the new technologies, the increase of the discussion of the new technologies will lead to the solution of this problem, you know, posed by those reactive people, corporations and governments, you know, trying to block the passage, you know, for the new reality. However, we must be ever vigilant as digital technology, like any other technology, can be used against individuals and against social interests. That's why I'm sure we have not only to humanize, but also, as I said before, to politicize these technologies. Politicizing them means exactly thoroughly discuss them and make them available to society and every citizen. Otherwise, they might fall once again into politicians' hands, and you know what that means. Regulations should be there to ensure freedom and open access to knowledge, not just to perpetuate profit. Okay, let's make profit. That's part of life. I mean, that's part of a natural ingredient that we have in our society, you know, the capitalism, you know. But let us add something more to that, you know. Let the logics of profit enhanced, enriched by something else, you know, by social responsibility also. Brazil has been fighting in the international and multi-stake forums to increase the full possibilities of universal access to knowledge. We have had expressive victories in the cultural fields. The creation of the UNESCO's Convention of Protection and Promotion of Cultural Diversity, a project in which Brazil and Canada have been important protagonists, authorizes and encourages our governments to implement cultural diversity policies.